Hey there, it's EnderVerse. Today we are starting a new series about RPG mods. This will be an endless journey, so subscribe and turn on the bell. This way you get to see episode 2 very early and underrated developers receive the attention they deserve. Now let's dive into the video. First on the list we've got Myths and Legends. This is a fantasy mod adding a few monsters with incredible implementation. Let's start with the boss, the Black Charrow. This is a Mexican ghost that can summon phantoms, shoot dark explosives, and teleport at the speed of light. As the battle intensifies, so are the Black Charrow's abilities, which breaks the monotony we usually see in some popular boss fight mods, where the difficulty remains unchanged throughout the battle. Thankfully, this isn't the case here. Another mob worth mentioning is the Gargoyle. I like this mob mainly due to its design. The abilities were great too, but nothing like the Black Charrow. The mod also contained 2 new structures, hosting a few more mobs to fight, like the Possessed Armor for instance. A very durable and powerful knight. If you fought one, you may defeat it fairly easily, but usually they are found in big groups, so you may get overwhelmed pretty easily. Defeating the mobs and the boss grants special items that feature strong buffs and abilities, so encountering one of these monsters will yield a great value. Next is the Gallant Tireless Altruist, a mod that will add a visual effect to receiving damage in the game. There is also this other visual effect that happens when you unalive a mob. I like this mod very much. However, I have to point the obvious. The mod's name and mod icon are completely separate from the mod's content, so I would highly recommend for the author to do some rebranding. Bloodborne x Minecraft is a mod that has been in development for some time now. Sadly though, this isn't an announcement for its full release, just a quick showcase of what has been done so far. The monsters here were fabulously modeled. You can notice the tiny details on the fur, the claws, and the sizing of the monsters too. The animations were also quite impactful. You can sense the life in each one of these mobs, and their attacks are made more energetic through immersive sound effects. The only comment I would make about this mod is the human NPCs. They have some dialogues that they use randomly.
Death to the minister!
However, these dialogues are not synchronized with the animations of their mouth. And they do have mouth animation by the way. So, I would recommend for the author to put some work on it.
This is a damned curse.
I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but the beta release is only for 1.18.2. But I can't wait to see this mod as a full project with structures, mechanics, and quests. And there is also a similar mod coming up about a game you're probably familiar with, so stick around. RPG mod packs can be enjoyed on single player, but many of them can offer special teamwork features or immensely hard difficulty that playing with someone may be more fun. Using WiseHosting, you can get a server that will handle even the most aggressive RPG mod packs. I'm using it right now to host my personal Better MC server with over 10 active people, and the experience has been seamless. Issues rarely arise when I add a mod or two, but nothing the support can't help you with. All it took was literally 2 minutes to set up the server and 1 click to install the mod pack. Server-side mods and data packs were also quite simple to include, and I'm a big fan of the control panel, how it lets you see the inventory, health, and hunger of any player on your server. It can get bugged with mods, but will work perfectly on vanilla servers. I'm glad to extend my partnership with WiseHosting, a company that was also made by a YouTuber I've been watching long before becoming a content creator myself, that being Shulkercraft. And I'm happy to give you friends 25% off your first purchase through my code ENDER. Now back to the video. Confluence is about the popular Terraria mod Calamity. The beginning of this adventure starts on the new biomes, most notably this meaty and scary place called the Crimson. All sorts of unpleasant mobs can be found in here. Some are even related to vanilla mobs like this new creeper type, and all of them are well made, featuring beautiful outlooks and death animations too. You may also come across structures, sometimes lifeless locations like large fossils, and others thriving communities high up in the sky, like these sky villages. Though I have to mention some of these structures were chopped off, so that's one issue for the author to fix. The real big deal, however, were the monster dungeons. There are plenty within this mod, and almost all of them will offer a horribly tough and dangerous boss fight. We're talking a 2000 HP boss, 10 times stronger than the Ender Dragon. The attacking patterns were good, but weren't many, so if I have to comment on something about the bosses, it would not be so much the quality but the quantity of their attacks. Adding 3 or 4 more attacks will energize these boss fights tremendously. This mod also added new weapons and armors to obtain. Each can be forged through a process called fusion. This is an incredible mod and an excellent RPG mod too, one where you can play a self-defined role. You could be an explorer, a fighter, or whatever gets you moving, my friend. Ancient Structures is a mod adding a couple of establishments and houses relating to real-life nations. Strolling around, you may be lucky enough to find this beautiful German cottage house with farm animals, villagers, and beautiful exterior and interior designs that were amplified with new detail blocks. Other locations, like the Mayan temples, were less warm and quite dangerous, with vanilla mobs strengthened through armors of the ages, though they too had breathtaking designs, with things like braziers, themed pillars, and more. The Japanese culture was also referenced, with Minka homes situated in the taiga biomes. I especially love this place, because you could find armor stands holding samurai suits, waiting for you to grab. I have showcased both the Armor of the Ages and Dawn of Time mod, and it's quite delightful to see a World Generation mod featuring new blocks and armors within those mods, making it easier for everyone to obtain and use them. Inspired by the game Helldivers, Crafted Democracy is a mod creating many aspects of that title, including the new armors, weapons, along with the ability to travel to new planets, which is the core of the story. The only enemies you can fight right now are the automatons. They can be quite a challenge, especially if you are under-equipped, though I feel things may only get tougher as the author develops the living creatures as well, which may happen very soon. The mod is in a state where you can explore the new planets, conquer the automaton's establishments, and spread democracy. Though there are still some game mechanics to be improved, bugs to be fixed, and content to be added, so I would not say that it is in a state where you can include it to your mod pack just yet. Gallant Bleak is a horror mod, but one of the better options, as it's not based on one noisy and freaky entity. It is, however, built around this new dimension called the Limbo. If you haven't noticed already, this is basically the Otherworld, but darker and scarier. The frame of the Limbo portal is quite easy to build. However, to ignite it, you need to craft a new item called the Compass of Pains. As you enter this dimension, it is advisable that you quickly hit the caves. Dark steel is the main raw materials of this dimension, and it will help you create new weapons and armors, designed specifically to fend off the unpleasant mobs within the Limbo. So, rushing to obtain them would be wise. You may also enhance the dark steel armor through infusing it with the carbon blood material, a new type of equipment that will inflict debuffs on enemies and increase your physical strength immensely. Rituals can also be performed here. Some can lend you more power, others could give you new items. Refer to the mod page for more details. Much like the dungeons of solo leveling, the Limbo is a place you can never leave without defeating its boss, the Gate Guardian. This boss doesn't feature many attacking patterns, only two main attacks, the homing projectiles and the summoning of the Guardians, though it is quite durable and can only be damaged through a new sword called the Thunder Sword, a weapon that collects energy with each swing, eventually electrocuting your enemies upon release. This is a great mod, with a unique concept and many powerful items to bring home. Here you are playing the role of the adventurer who uses demonic artifacts and materials to conquer this bleak dimension and see the light of day again. Install it if this is the kind of RPG experience you are looking for. Cardiac is a mod that will allow you to claim the hearts of fallen enemies. I'm once again referring to solo leveling, where the protagonist heals upon defeating an enemy. Apart from its RPG element, this mod can be great for most players, as it will help in tough situations, as those 1 or 2 hearts claimed by unaliving mobs can make all the difference. Goety is a very enjoyable magic mod inspired directly from the game Minecraft Dungeons. To start, exploration is a major part of the mod, with structures featuring occult rituals, others similar to the vanilla dungeons only having spawners to endure and some loot to claim, along with big establishments filled with mobs that will put you through your paces. The magic part of the mod was quite simple and anything but complex. You obtain a wand, create a focus, which is basically the spell you will be casting, press X to select the focus, and right click to use it. As simple as. Another major chunk of the mod had to do with mobs, particularly mini bosses and full bosses. The author worked hard to deliver a tough and visually appealing battle, remaining true to the original franchise. This mod features a heap more, so give it a try. Valley and Sky is the mod I talked about at the start of the video. This mod came to recreate an incredible RPG game, Elden Ring. Once again, we are witnessing an immense amount of effort put into development. These monsters had textures that were near perfect, and the way they moved was quite fluid and also similar to their Elden Ring counterpart, with very few animations being a little choppy due to the mod not being released yet. What you saw just now pales in comparison to the pictures and GIFs the author is sharing with their Discord members. It's there too, where you can get this beta test mod to play. If the author maintained and packaged the mod with the same quality, it would be one of the greatest RPG mods to ever release, and I'll be the first to showcase it once again when that happens. Threatenly mobs adds a bunch of new monsters to fight. Some use necromancy, summoning stronger types of zombies, others will hunt you in the oceans, and some use a combination of poison and fire. I love these monsters. They were awesome, hard to fight, and quite threatening. However, I have to mention that what I've shown are the good mobs of the mod. The rest are mobs that are either poorly modeled and animated, or feature brain-dead AI, struggling to coordinate players or step up blocks. Sometimes, less is more, so I wish the author would thin out the numbers of the mobs, leaving only the good examples that I've shown you, plus a few others. Warrior Rage makes you go berserk to hide your kill streak, starting at 3 kills in a row. As you kill more and more mobs, your resistance and strength will increase, to the point where you'll start to one-tap mobs and set them on fire. Just like the Cardiac mod, Warrior Rage can get you out of pickles, and I don't think it's that overpowered too. This next mod adds demonic presence to your world, with demons and imps spawning primarily on the nether and dropping some loot upon defeat. The strength of the demons can vary from a small weak demon that you can kill very easily to a demon lord with a few summons defending him and a long health bar to drain, to a full-blown boss called the Ancient Demon Lord. I'm once again commenting on the attacking patterns. All of these demons had awesome animations, however their attacks were quite limited, only approaching and dealing damage, which can be quite boring. So, for all developers out there, always strive to give unique fighting styles to the mobs. It can make a lot of difference. This next mod overhauls the food system in the game. Now you will spawn with 3 hearts and you must eat quality types of food to increase your hearts and survive. When you lose hearts, the foods you previously ate will regenerate those hearts, but only for a few minutes. After that you will need to eat some more food. Mods like Farmer's Delight mod can help you expand your diet even more, which naturally leads to better health. I guess the role you'll be playing here is the role of a chef, as you need to strive to cook all sorts of healthy meals to survive. This next mod is fully based on the Brazil methodology, adding a number of monsters like the Mapinguari, a cyclops creature with a huge mouth on its belly. The author did an incredible job designing this thing. I really loved the animations for roaring and how it fluidly runs after players. The attacks of the Mapinguari were great too, but I have to point out how the animations are a bit faster than they should be. Also, try and add extra attacks like biting the players or hurling them around. Capilobo is a combination of an anteater and a wolf. It emerges from the ground at random and will slash you with its claws, jump backwards, lets you bleed out before jumping you once more. Upon defeat, it drops its claws and tongue. And the final example I'll show you is the Headless Mule. When awakened to a golden apple, it attaches the skeletal head back to its body and begins attacking. This map too looks stunning, but I feel that the battle was mostly one-sided. The mule couldn't even step up slabs, and so couldn't reach me quickly. Medieval fantasy is at the core of RPG games, so this mod is a must-have for people seeking to form an enjoyable, adventure-filled modpack. Toffy's hooks will add a grappling hook that you can use to maneuver through tall trees, especially useful on the jungle and other biomes like the redwood forest on regions unexplored. Grappling requires practice before you can master it, and I believe skill making is at the core of any RPG experience. Usually it has to do with combat, but grappling shouldn't be an exception. The grappling hook is very expensive to make, though the fun is worth the trouble. Don't you think so? This next mod adds tunics that you can drink to receive short-term buffs like strength, night vision, or fire resistance. These tunics can be made using wild plants found almost anywhere. I recognize tunics from games like Red Dead Redemption 2. And newsflash, that's the greatest RPG game I've ever played in my life. So yeah, you could say that this mod was fit for this list. This mod adds battle towers that stretch above the clouds. The towers are brimming with mobs, and you must clear enemies on each floor before reaching the final boss at the top. Each floor has these red spawners. Your mission is to destroy them all, upon which you'll hear an unlocking sound. Locate the sound and claim your reward. Here, you may also come across new mobs like the cultist. He's not a big deal, you can easily kill him, but I wish the author would give him magical abilities or something that distinguishes him from other mobs. As you unlock the boss fight, your battle begins. The boss was honestly not that interesting, with the same old boring approach and damage fighting style. But this mod was supposed to be a revival of an ancient mod, so I reckon we can't blame anyone for this. Once you defeat the boss, you have exactly a few seconds to evacuate the building before it comes crumbling down, unaliving you if you're not quick enough. I apologize for the authors if my criticism was harsh. I really enjoyed the overall experience, and the boss shouldn't be a deal breaker for many people. One of the last mods we have for this episode is Snowy Weather. This mod will cover the world in snow, effectively transforming it into an Ice Age landscape. I see this mod being most useful when used with temperature mods like tough as nails, as it will solidify the role of a primitive Ice Age survivor even more. RPG Stash will add this post where you can have access to an ender chest. This post can be found on the majority of the villages in Minecraft. On almost all RPG games, you are never stationed in one place, and this mod will help you if you have an ender chest but haven't yet attained a Silk Touch pickaxe. Recently, I finished a series where I showcased 200 RPG mods. Check it out if you don't want to miss out on those mods. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to keep up with my content. Finally, I'd like to thank WiseHosting for sponsoring this video. I'll see ya in the next one, my friend.